Hello world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Robothought Zero to Hero series C++ coding in Arduino Mega. Alright folks, we have reached lesson number 24 and I am going to show you what is Arduino C and C++ variables. Alright, so basically I'll try to explain about variables in C++ programming. C and C++ both, right, used in, which is primarily used in Arduino microcontroller. So the variables are defined as the place to store the data and values. All right, it consists of a name, a value and a type. Okay, these are the three different sets, right? The variables can belong to any data type such as int for integer, float for float value and char for character and so on, right? So for example, let me share my IDE. I'll just type in something and show it to you how variables basically work. So it's basically I'm trying to show you some clarity, guys. So for example, int, say int pin equals to say 8. All right. So what is this all about? So int is basically your integer, right? That is a data type. So that is how it works. And the pin is your name of the variable. You can also put your own name, it doesn't matter, but it has to be defined as, it has to be consistently followed across your code. Whatever the name you are defining, let's say if, instead of pin, if you are saying Avengers, it has throughout your code it has to be Avengers. Okay, so that is the name of the variable and equals to 8. So 8 is the value which has been assigned to that particular variable. So the data type is very clear, which is your int, which is used to create a variable named pin, and that stores the value 8. So it also means that the value 8 is basically initialized to the variable pin. Okay, we can also modify the name of the variable according to our choice. For example, say int, int LED pin. You can put it as LED pin, or say my pin, something like that. All right. So the variable name LED pin here in this case, I'll just show it as an example. We can refer the declared variable further in our program or code. For example, so if I had to do it like this, say pin mode, and then see, as soon as you put pin mode, the color changes. So so the Arduino IDE has got an inbuilt function, right? So you can say LED pin, okay, comma output in capital, in uppercase and a semicolon. The color changes immediately. That means what? You are sending an output from one of these pins, whichever pin you say. In this case it's pin number 8, so it's a digital pin 8, one of the pins. So where it is, it's here. So this is digital pin 8. So from this pin 8 you are sending an output, right? So that's what it signifies. Here basically the value 8 is declared variable, right? It's basically the declared variable LED pin will be passed into the pin mode function. Okay, that is how the pin mode works. And if we do not declare the variable, the value can also be directly passed on to the function. Say for example, pin mode, I can say here instead of LED pin I can say 8 directly, right? So the output will be from pin number 8 instead of LED pin, which is your variable, right? So there are a couple of advantages of variables, guys. The major advantage is we can use a variable many times in a program, as many times as possible, right? N number of times. The variables can basically represent integers, your strings, characters and so on. These are the main, but these are the three main stuffs like integer, characters and strings, right? Which are declared in the variable. It increases basically the flexibility of the program. You can be really flexible. So we can easily modify the variable. For example, if you want to change the value of variable LED pin from 8 to 13, you can just, all you need to do is you can just type in here 13, right? And here of course LED pin. Most important thing, guys, whatever name you are declaring here, LED pin, for example, the uppercase is LED and the lowercase is pin, you need to follow the same structure throughout your code. You cannot change it, right? So now we can also directly specify the value as pin equals to 7. That is also possible. We will get an error that pin has not been declared. Okay, we can easily change the variables by copying its value to another variable. For example, say, let me just show you an example. Say int LED pin equals to 7. Okay, semicolon, and then say int and then pin 1 equals to LED pin, like this. All right, and then LED pin equals to, we can change the pin here, right, 13, like this. The LED pin now contains the value 13 instead of 7, but the value of pin 1 is still 7, right? So that is how it is. So for example, let me write the full complete code for you. Say LED pin 13, and then we can go to, say, let me open a curly bracket and then serial dot begin, and then we can start printing this with a baud rate of 9600 semicolon, and obviously there needs to be a white setup above this. That is your standard thing, right? You don't have to do anything with that. You had already declared your integer, your LED pin as 7, and also pin 1 to LED pin, and you are changing again the LED pin to 13, right? So int pin 1 equals to pin LED, like this. So when you start to print serial begin 9600, the value 7 will be printed. At the same time, int pin 1 pin LED, you are declaring it, and again you are going to pin LED equals to 13, like this. All right, and then we can say serial dot print ln, and what we need to print, pin LED. So here what's going to happen, basically now the value is changed, right? So you are calling pin number 13, right? Now the value 13 will be printed, and then obviously after this, you have to go to your void loop function, close, yes, and then you can declare what you want inside this particular curly bracket. Within this, your void loop has to go in whatever the program you are writing based on pin number 7 and pin number 13. That is how it works, right? So guys, I hope you are very clear with the variables, right? So the variable concepts are very, very important. You need to understand this from basics. That is why I am showing you in a layman's language for non-tech people getting into programming for the first time using C++ and Arduino, so that over a period of time you can connect this series into your Jetson Nano series and start building robots and AI applications and stuff like that. So it's going to be easy. So start following this and do practice, and if you have any questions and comments, do leave a message below this video. Alright guys, I am going to get back to you soon. Do give me a thumbs up. Goodbye.